Hey, 6 p.m. Lenny Schmidt, Tuesday night. How you doing? This is a Total Schmidt Show. Buckle up. Hey, welcome to the Total Schmidt Show. Whether you're watching on the Lenny Schmidt Comedy Network on YouTube or you're listening on podcast, we have a new intro, new theme song. Let's do this. Hey, tune in every week as I travel the world and I talk to entertainers from all over the world. A lot of writers, a lot of comics, a lot of dancers, a lot of singers, a lot of comics, a lot of producers, a lot of tech people, a lot of comics, a lot of pianists, piano player type people. You know what I'm talking about. Musicians and lots of comics. Every once in a while, we'll throw in a comedy sketch, something like that, some music, some travel stuff. We'll even do a live remote from one or two of the ports they happen to be hanging out at.
That's it. That's the whole show. And I'm going to record it all and put it on the intraweb. Sometimes. Usually late. Always late. Maybe. I don't know. And weekly? Nah, maybe. Sort of.
Either way, sit back, grab a beer, light a joint, and enjoy this week's episode of Hey, it's Tuesday night. It's Total Schmidt Show. How you doing? Thanks for being here. Tuesday at 6. Welcome back. Tonight, I'm on a ship. Look, you see I'm back in the cabin. I'm back on water. No more land for a while. I'll be back on water for some time. So the show will be back every week now, Tuesday at 6. You know the drill. I talk to entertainers. I've got tons of people I've talked to the last few weeks. We're going to get those episodes up every Tuesday for the next few weeks. Do me a favor, if you can, if you watched the show before or if you listened to it, you know the drill. Please, I really love if you went to YouTube, went to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the channel. If you're listening on podcast, you can go to the Lenny Schmidt Comedy Network. You just look for Mr. Lenny Schmidt or at Mr. Lenny Schmidt. And you can find Total Schmidt Show on there. Give the videos a thumbs up. If you're just watching now, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. These things really help me out a lot. They cost you absolutely nothing, but they really support the channel. They help us get going. They help me get more viewers. They help. YouTube's happy to see that stuff. So that means that people are watching and that they care. If you're listening on the podcast, welcome. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Please subscribe to the podcast also. I would appreciate that. We're working on all kinds of stuff through this upcoming year, 2024. I'm excited about Total Schmidt Show and some of the cool stuff that we're going to be doing. So let's get right to this week's episode. Frank Lucero I worked with on the Carnival Freedom. We did a crossing. I'm on a crossing now. This was a weird crossing with Lucero. It was one of those things. It's like 6 sea days, which is it sucks. I'm not a fan. I don't like it. It's just 6 days at sea. So I brought my equipment and recorded a bunch of people doing the Total Schmidt Show. We talked about our live shows, talked about a lot of different stuff. Frank talked about how he used to work over at Universal Studios, his production work, and his stand-up. We recorded this the day after his first show. His 9:30 show was great. It was great. It was a great week. It was me, him, a whole bunch of other guys. But this episode is Frank Lucero, so sit back, enjoy yourselves, buckle up, watch, listen, whatever it is you're doing. Pour yourself some wine or beer or make a burger. I don't care what you're going to do. But listen to myself and Frank Lucero. We're in. Dude, I'm glad this worked. This is the third time I worked with you.
Yeah.
And both other times I couldn't.
Yeah, we just missed each other.
Yeah, well, I couldn't tape you. And then that last time, that one guy, remember I got the wrong name. We talked about that earlier today. I sent it to the wrong name. And the guy, I'm like, I'll meet you at 7. He's like, okay. I go, sweet.
Oh, he did respond?
Yeah, he did. That's why funny. I got so mad at the guy. I was like, and then I'm sitting there like,
where's Frank, man?
Frank, where you at, man? What are you talking about?
Yeah,
I didn't hear anything. And I sent that guy a long text. I go, dude, that was shitty. And he felt bad. He's like, oh, you're right. I'm sorry.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Because I know the guy he worked on, him and another guy did the theme song for the show.
Uh-huh.
And I know the other guy,
so
Patrick Duffy's the other guy who's the piano bar guy.
Yeah.
And I know Patrick really well. He's a good friend of mine. Yeah. And I went to Patrick for a theme song, and he goes, yeah, my buddy Frank and I are going to work on it. And I said, sure. So and Frank did the guitar chords, and it came out great. They did a good job. But I couldn't remember how I knew him. And I'm like, why is this guy my contact? I was so bad. I was so pissed.
That's funny that he answered, though.
Yeah, he did. When I sent him a because I sent him a text, I go, dude, that was shitty. Because I was supposed to tape a podcast.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And I go, and I'm like, I didn't want to be. And then I sent a message later. When he apologized, I was like, I kind of snapped at you. Because I was really mad. I was like, I had it all figured out. Yeah, it was all good. It all worked out. Yeah. You know? And then when you look back on it, it's no big deal. And now we're here. Now we're doing. Now we're doing the show.
Working out.
Yeah, man.
No worries.
Yeah. So how's it going?
Pretty good, yeah.
Dude, great shows this week, man.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're really
you too.
good. That second, thank you. That 9:30 show was dynamite.
Yeah,
and
man.
it was awesome that Glenn was there, your
Yeah.
agent, which is really cool.
Exactly.
That's gotta feel good, right?
Yeah, totally. I'm glad he went to that show. Definitely.
Yeah, right. That's the feeling.
It was because I mean, I did my thing the late show, but that was when it was packed. It was just all those all those things came together.
Everything hit, bro.
You know what I mean? All the people were there. They were in good moods. The stage, the sound. I mean, everything just clicked.
Yeah, and he was a smart enough guy too to know. Like we were talking about at dinner, we were talking a little bit about how they should have more. I think more vetting of comics. Like people should go out and watch the comics. Yeah. And one of the things Glenn brought up was it's important to watch a comic in a good. Like that was a perfect example. Mm-hmm. Your 9:30 show was money. It was perfect. It was packed.
Yeah.
But then at 10:30, you're going up against a Halloween party.
Yeah.
So you're like, why even do a show against a Halloween party? If you're gonna, you know what I mean? The show's gonna suffer.
Or just take that into account. You know what I mean? All the different types of circumstances.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been on different ships, and it's always a different circumstance. You're on the boat for 5 days, and then the next day, everybody's going to get off the ship, but you have an 11 o'clock show.
Right.
You know, and it's like the whole ship is dead because
Right.
they're all asleep. And, and you know, you're going to do your thing for the handful of people that are there, but it's not the same dynamic as that earlier show. Or you know, so you just got to take that into account.
Yeah, but then also, but
we can do it.
But one of the reasons we brought it up was, for guys like us, we understand that. But if you're an ED or someone you're evaluating shows, if you walk into a show and you see the 10:30 show, you're like, well, this isn't, this is okay, I guess. He's funny, but it's not, you know what I mean? So the scheduling, they should take that into account a little bit more when you're thinking of that, because you want, first of all, you want the guests to have a good experience.
Right.
Everybody at that 9:30 show had a great time.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they did the 10:30, but it's a different dynamic when you're in a packed room full of people.
Oh, totally.
And they're laughing and they're having a good time.
Yeah. And I've always run into that in entertainment, as far as people that are in charge of entertainment.
Yeah.
That have a say on how to schedule or what they're going to bring on. And this is what I've heard is like, I don't really understand entertainment, but I know what I like.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man. You know, at least understand what's going on, or the dynamics, or all those different variables that come into play.
Well, that's a
to put a good show together. But these guys are running it, and they're like, oh, I came in, I saw him, and they're like, yeah, but it wasn't all those things.
It's a classic
you know what I
industry
mean?
thing.
Yeah.
Like in Hollywood, with people that the producers and people that are in charge, they go, I can't do talent, but I know what I like. And you're like, we'll leave the creative to the creative people.
It's as simple as a corporate gig when you go in there for a holiday party.
Yeah.
And they say, oh yeah, we're gonna have dinner and you're gonna do your show. I'm like, oh, I don't want to perform while they're eating.
Yeah.
Or they're gonna have so whatever distractions you try. Like, oh, I think it'd be better if I was here. Or they want to split up the show. Like, oh, I got a comedian.
Yeah.
We'll take a break. We're gonna do a raffle. Then bring up next. Like, you know what? It'd be better if it's more fluid. Just trust me.
They always get that
wrong.
They
have their idea of.
They always go, can you do can you do an hour and a half? I go, no. No one should do an hour and a half for a corporate gig.
Yeah.
And it's too long. Corporate gig, half hour, 45
They're not
minutes.
expecting it for one thing. People are coming in to mingle and eat. And so it's all those type of things.
Right.
So.
Well, it's so funny that they should trust us more as they are. You think if you've been doing it 25, 30, whatever, that you kind of I've done a few of these, so I got to figure it out.
Yeah. So you figure it out though. Make the best of it.
Good. Right on. Well, you did, and you now. How long have you been doing stand up?
30 years.
Wow, 30 years.
Over 30, yeah.
Okay. Right.
91, 92. That's when I first stood on stage.
Okay. Oh, right on.
I tried it, I'm like, I moved out to LA and I got on stage and I tried it. Then, like, once you do, you start to meet people and connect and just start talking about, like, oh, where's this room? Where's that room? It's kind of weird how that just happens.
You start networking.
That's what, networking.
And then you start hanging out with the comics.
Yeah, you never know. You're like, oh yeah, what's going on over here? What's going on there? How do you get on that stage? How do you get on stage? And then I started asking, like, how do I get up there? How do I get up there?
Right.
And then you get the bartenders, or the bartender, but the owners that say, oh, you have to do this room first, or the little room first. And back in the day when they had VHS tapes, I can.
You remember that?
Bring your tape, and we'll see. And I'm like, oh, okay, great. I remember one owner. He says. He's like, oh yeah, if you bring a lot of people, we can get you a good tape up here. And he takes me into his office. And he goes, see half these tapes? I don't even watch half these tapes, but you need a good tape. I'm like, why are you gonna watch mine? Because he wanted to charge me
Sure.
all this money to bring these people and put on a show.
Nobody watches tapes, but I can
get you a tape. Yeah, and I'm like, you know what you just said?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, that place was shady. That place, yeah. But I mean, I did some open micers in that bar. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But like I said, like how do I get up? How do I get up
You
there?
start bouncing around, and you haven't been on shifts that long, man. Right?
A little over a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Since last May.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job, bro.
Yeah, it's cool, man. It's
you're
like
out there
figuring it out.
man.
Figuring
it's
it out.
It's a different animal out here.
It is totally different animal.
Yeah.
You know, you get all your pieces, and you like start regurgitating. Like, oh, okay, yeah, this will work. This will work. I haven't done this bit in a long time. Okay, I can put that back together and this together, and like, oh yeah, that one looked real good. And then you just piecing it all together and breaking up that 45, that hour that you're working on, whatever.
Right.
And then just Frankensteining it out to now it's like, all right, now I got my 30.
Yeah.
And they're separate, you know. So. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, you adapt it well, man. It's different, and plus the thing once they see you once or twice, they know you by the end of the cruise. You know what I mean? So that's why it's so
fun.
weird.
You know, I just talking to people. They want to play. Hey, come on, we're just playing some cards. I'm like, all right, maybe later I got to do a thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
People are, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, there's been a good runs too. And these Journeys cruises are different, man. I like these a lot.
Yeah.
They're cool. I remember when I started doing it, everybody was like, "Oh no, you don't want to do a Journeys cruise. They suck." I'm like, "Are you kidding? I love them, man. They're great.
So far,
they love the show. They're good fans, or they're good supporters of live shows.
Yeah. And they're on the ship for how many days or whatever. So there's not a lot to do. So they're really interested, and they want to come out and support and listen to your, even your little stories or whatever. Yeah, it's all good, you know.
Yeah, if you're putting up a good show, they'll come out and watch it all the time.
Yeah, they'll support it, and even if they've seen you already, I just wanted to see you again.
Yeah,
I just want to see the other people's reactions. Oh, I like it, you know, like all right, cool.
Well, I like the crowd stuff or anything, you know.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's fun. It's cool.
Yeah, it's good.
I don't know why people. I mean, everybody's different, you know. Sometimes the boat's not their thing. They get on the ship and you're like, oh man, I can't, you know, the rooms and complain about those other things. And I'm like, well, yeah, you got to kind of get used to it, you know.
Well, that part of it. Well, it depends on the line.
The traveling and all that kind of stuff.
The traveling's rough, but I can, but it's still, you know what, you're traveling though. You know,
once you're there, man, you're like, look where I'm at.
Yeah.
Look where I'm having breakfast today.
Yeah.
Look where I'm having lunch.
Yeah, you're eating free all day.
Look at this, man. I'm over here at this place or this port or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what keeps me going, and the people are pretty cool too. Everybody's like awesome.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, it's always something different.
Yeah, we've talked there with all the other guys. Like, I do so much traveling now. I don't know how much travel I'm going to do when I retire. You know what I mean? I've seen everything. I'm like, I think I'm good. Yeah, or at least then I'll know where to go. I've been there. I know exactly where I'm going.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, same thing. I mean, it's just places that you want to see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. Just do what you want to do.
Like, I've been asked this too. Like, okay, since you've been doing this traveling, and I'll probably do a lot more. They're like, where would you like to go spend more time since you only get a glimpse, like 4 hours or 5 hours, And I'm like, oh yeah, I could probably spend a weekend here or a weekend there, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In those places, you're like, oh yeah.
Places like Freeport, where I could spend an hour.
Well, Freeport, I just stay on the boat and exercise.
Yeah. There's a good little sandwich shop right off the.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, dude. They sell a lobster burger that's delicious.
Oh, really?
Like, a lot of the crew just get off to get the sandwich to get back on the ship.
Oh, in the port?
It's literally right off the gangway.
Yeah.
Like when you walk down, you turn left by 100 feet.
Little
it's
eatery
right there.
Plaza. Yeah,
it's right there. Everybody goes there, and I'll go there just for the lobster burger.
Oh.
And I'll get it. It's delicious. I mean, it's huge chunks of lobster. It's a really good deal.
Yeah.
So I'll get that every time. But that's all I do. I don't walk more than 150 feet off the ship. Eat the burger, right back onto the ship.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm gone. Yeah.
I remember when I was excited. I'm like, oh, what a Freeport! I'm going to the Bahamas. Yeah. And I'm like, oh. There it is.
Oh, that's neat.
I can stay on top of the boat, look down, and go, oh yeah, okay.
So Progresso's kind of one of those places too, but I like Progresso.
Progresso's all right, yeah.
Because I'll go off. Dude, I like tacos, man. So I love. I'll go anywhere and go find cheap tacos. Like you find a good restaurant to sit down.
Yeah.
Get a plate of tacos and some beers and stuff.
All of the crew, and they know all the places.
All the good places. Yeah, you know where to go. Before COVID, there was a guy there that used to. I met him. I can't remember. His name was Steve. I don't know if he's still there. I don't think he's there. But he's an American that just went to Progresso and decided to open a place.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because we were talking to him about you should get Wi-Fi. He's like, I don't want Wi-Fi. He goes, I have Wi-Fi. I have all the crew sitting around here all day long.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I want people here buying beers and drinking tacos or whatever. Buying beers and drinking tacos.
There is a crew hangout there. There is one right like middle of the port right there.
Oh, is there?
It's Wi-Fi. Yeah. It's on the second floor. You have to find it.
Yeah, they had.
It's
every
like
port's got something like that somewhere, man. Like
I was gonna say it's pretty run down when I was there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like pretty disheveled, run down, but you could see the remnants of like a pool table in the bathroom, and you're like, and it said crew upstairs, and you go up there and you're like, oh, okay, I can see where the guys Wi-Fi. Everybody would hang out up there.
Excuse me. There used to be a place in Orlando behind the mall. There was a huge cruise center. It was huge.
Yeah.
And if you went in, they sold everything from suitcases to coats to, it was one of those joints. They had everything.
Yeah.
And then they had like a dinner place where they serve food, like different type of, and it was ethnic food. It was Russian food and Filipino food and all kinds of stuff. They had big screens and TVs that you could plug in and watch.
Oh, that's
TV.
cool.
Yeah, it was really neat. And then one day I went back there and it was just gone.
Yeah.
It was just empty. I go, it was
they probably cleaned it out.
Yeah, they moved and left. The guy that was from Sweden and they used to work on ships and they opened this place, but I just went back there one day and it was just literally gone. I'm like, what the? No.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah.
No, where's my go-to? I was all mad. I had to find a different place to go to.
Yeah, there's always I'm learning. I'm learning where those places are, those nooks and crannies. Yeah, like I said, follow the crew. Where's everybody going? All right.
There's a great place in Ensenada for Wi-Fi that no one goes to. Mm-hmm. And there's a great taco place they go to, too, that no one goes to. No one goes to the taco place because there's no Wi-Fi or beer there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? So, but the tacos are amazing.
Yeah,
They're great. Carne asada tacos and fish tacos are great. They're really good. And then there's this place called, Lucero. Lucero, have you been there yet, the coffee shop? It's across the street from the seafood shack, the big blue one. If you ever go there, it's kind of a.
I was just there a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah, and that's a long.
We just walked around and we just walked around up to Papa's and Beer and back.
Yeah,
and had a coffee shop.
It's not as far down as Papa's and Beer. It's around the corner from the main coffee shops out there.
Okay.
And they serve fresh churros and they do coffee.
Okay.
And they have a little balcony upstairs inside, but they have Wi-Fi. And it's great. So usually I get off to grab tacos. And I'll go sit there in that Ensenada place. I'll sit there all day.
When we were there, like we went up the street, and then if you go to the left towards Papa's and Beer, that's where all the same old shops are. Come on, buy this, buy that. But if you go to the right, there's nicer restaurants. And eateries and cafes and bakeries, and that's where we were like, oh, this is great. This is like a little strip right here.
Yeah, and there's some really great places for breakfast there.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and there weren't all those barkers, out the front. Come in, buy this, buy this.
Anything south of the McDonald's or south of the 7-Eleven on that street is cool. It's almost like a different world. It's like a little hip, trendy. For a while, they closed those streets down where you can just walk through like a promenade.
Yeah.
And they were the courtyard dinner eateries, and there's a couple of places that El Bourdain went to. One of those taco places.
But those guys are in the front are hilarious. I was entertained just walking down the street. I know. And all like, buy me this. I mean, I got ribbed in their or poked in their ribs by this little girl.
Yeah.
Trying to hawk those cheeklet candies like I haven't seen since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I turn around and I'm like, and she's just like, I'm like, no, come on, man, be cool. And the guys that would say this, the craziest, come on, Sandal, Wallace, what do you need? Yeah. And you're like, no, I'm good. And then I walk by one guy, and he goes, hey, you just dropped something. And I go, what? He goes, a great deal. Come in. And I'm like, oh, look at this guy. I go,
did you go in?
No, but
dude, if they come in with a good one, I go in. I go, all right.
I'm like, it was a good. And there's another one. The guy says, I walk by. He goes, come on. And I go, no, I'll be back. He goes, you always say you're going to come back, but you never do, just like my dad. I was like, dude, that's pretty deep,
dude, that's
man.
a really good one. A girl got me.
You got my attention.
A girl got me once when I was walking by. She goes, "You want?" I kept walking, and she's like, "Hey, you want something for your wife?" I go, "No, mistress, no." She goes, "Ex-wife," and I go, "Oh, that's pretty good, actually." All right. I mean, I bought something. I also bought something for my daughters. Yeah, if I get a good one thrown at me, I'll go in there and buy something. That was funny, dude. Nice work.
That was like, all right, look at this guy. All right, he's hustling.
Yeah. These guys sometimes do. They gotta tell them because they'll sell those Bajas, the big sweaters, and stuff. And they'll go. You go out there and I go, how much for the sweater? I was with my daughters. He goes, it's $30. I go, I work on the ship, man.
Yeah.
Goes, oh, okay, $10. Because a lot of times I'll just tell them that. I go, look, I work on the ship. Because don't waste your time on me because I work on the ship.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Never mind. Oh, all right. Okay.
I tried that in New Orleans. Went down the mall. They had this big mall.
Yeah.
And the lady was doing these free makeovers and stuff.
Oh man.
And I guess she saw the bags out of my eyes and figured, oh, this guy needs some younger, whatever that stuff is, I don't know, and I go, okay, you know, she talked me into it, really pretty girl, so I'm like, okay, what's up? And she sits me down, does all this stuff, and I go, how much is this stuff? She goes, I'll tell you, but you should try it. I'm like, well, how much is this stuff? How much? Okay, I'll tell you. And it comes up, it's like $300,
right?
And I did the whole line, I work on the cruise ship, man. I gotta get back on board in about an hour, man. And she goes, no, but you could. I'm like, oh no, but thank you.
They got me at that same shop. Some woman literally dragged me in there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, all right, look. And I go, look, I go, no, I'm around time. And the whole time I'm like, I gotta go. And I walk in, and then she's like, okay, sit down. And I go, all right, no, I gotta go. She walked me all the way to the back. Yeah. And she's a little cute little girl, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I go, I'm not buying anything.
I got time to kill. Yeah. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to walk around anyway and just explore. I'm like, you know what? What do you got?
Yeah.
I'll listen to her spiel.
Yeah, do your thing.
And, how much is... but see, it has this. I'm like, oh, okay.
But I feel bad sometimes, too. I don't want to take their time. You know what I mean?
That's what I felt. I'm not but I'm like, well, you know what? She's trying to... And I was like, no, I'm good. No, and she kept going lower in the price because she was negotiating.
Right.
I go, I told you I work on the ship.
Yeah, I
gotta go. Yeah. I'd use that excuse at first because I don't have time. I have to go. I have to be back on the ship in about an hour. Oh, it won't take that long. Come here. And I'm like, no, I'm good. No, look. So what do you put on your eyes? Nothing, man. I don't put nothing in my eyes. Here, I got that perfect. I got a perfect thing. You know, I go soap and water. What?
Yeah.
But sometimes you get off the ship in the ports, you just want to kill some time and walk around, just explore.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not going to buy anything, but you just want to explore and see what's out there, you know.
Yeah, most of these ports you walk around, like Nassau's the same way, where they're always trying to sell shit to you. Also, the farther, it's always, I love the guys selling the drugs. They're my favorite guys.
Oh, yeah.
You want cocaine? I go, no, I'm good. I'm fine.
Ensenada was like that, too. Hey, you want to party? We're girls, you want to party? Girls, cocaine, girl, you know, and like, I'm good, man. I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay, I get back on the boat now, man.
Yeah, pass on the cocaine. Thank you.
It's true, though, man. Nassau. Yeah, that's right. Jamaica.
Oh, they love in Jamaica to throw the sleeve
Jamaica, man.
You want some Jamaican weed?
Yeah, man. Hey, I'll make you a good time now, man. Yeah, I'm all right, bro. This guy came out holding an umbrella, and it was hot as heck. He had this umbrella, and I thought it was for a shade and everything. And he goes, hey, man, because I was walking by myself. And he goes, hey, man, you want to have a good time? I go, no, I'm good. And he's like, hey, so you want some smoke, man? Just stereotypical Jamaica guy, right? He goes, I got the best. And I go, I'm sure you do. He's like, no, check it out. He opens up the handle on his umbrella. Yeah. He pulls out this plastic
it's in there.
And I'm like, holy smokes. He's like, yeah, man. I go, no, man. I gotta go, man. I gotta go. But thank you. You have a good time. But it was pretty crazy.
Yeah, they get pretty intense, man.
I just watch. I'm like you observe, you watch. You just watching like, wow, this is crazy out here, man.
Right.
Can I imagine at night when, because we always go during the day.
Yeah.
So you get there, we have to be back in the ship like 3-4 o'clock. Whatever.
Yeah, there's a couple. I was at Roatan once because at Roatan for a while they mug you with a hatchet. Like that's when they come up and they just start cutting you with a hatchet until you drop your shit, and they take your shit and they run. It's a bigger problem on Honduras on the mainland than it is on Roatan.
You won't catch me out there.
Yeah, I know. Well, they told me about this. I read about it. I heard about it. They were doing it on Roatan, talking about being careful and stuff. And I had an overnight in Roatan, so I got off the ship one day and I got on a ship the next day. So I got off the ship with my bags and I'm walking through this alley area. And I'm going, this is not good. I can see the hotel, right? And I'm like, walking around. I'm like, I got all my stuff with me. I'm just freaked out. And then I got to the hotel, and I didn't go out. I'm like, I'm not going out. There's no way I'm going out at night here. Yeah. That's crazy. So I go sometimes in a hotel, like I'll put a dresser in front of the door. Like I get all creeped out. Hell yeah, dude. I'll lock the door. If I'm going to go to sleep, I'm like, I don't want anybody breaking into my room. I get so freaked out. In some of these towns, I did it overnight in another place where there was a drug dealer next door, and I could hear. I know they were selling drugs next door, and I'm just in the hotel upstairs. And I'm like, man, I don't feel safe here at all.
Yeah, that's crazy. What's funny is like I get off the ships. Sometimes I just want to see what the guests see.
Yeah.
So that if something happens or whatever,
I
can refer it back. To it. Yeah. Refer to like, oh man, my day was great. How'd you? Oh, but what's it? We'll deal with this or that, or I would talk about whatever they saw as well.
Right.
And it's kind of like, okay, you're there. You're not just like talking automatic pilot. You're just kind of like, I'm living in the moment. I saw this or that.
Yeah. Plus, you got material to bring back to talk to them on stage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you
yeah,
talk
yeah,
do
yeah.
a bit about it. You're like, anybody see the monkeys? Like, oh yeah, there's all the monkeys.
Yeah, the birds or,
Yeah.
or some of the stuff they're selling at the store is just like some crazy erotic stuff I talked about. I'm like,
Yeah.
what's the deal with the crystals and I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because everybody saw it. Everybody had to walk by it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's easy, it's fun
Yeah,
stuff
then
to
you get
refer
the
to.
information for it.
Yeah, you're like, oh,
Yeah,
okay,
smart.
okay. So I try to bring up something or whatever's going on, the weather or whatever they're experiencing.
Yeah, that works with the guests because they like it, even after a few days they think that, they feel like they know you.
Yeah.
So then when you've been doing the same thing in the ports, everybody's in the same deal.
Uh-huh.
It's weird to see these people, or it's cool to see these people after a bunch of days.
Yeah.
People get together and they're friends after a few days.
They get to know each other and hang
Yeah.
out, whatever, and then you become a part of it. You become a part of the experience.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool.
I think it's great, dude. Plus, most of the time, the guests seem to be pretty cool with each other. Most of the time.
Yeah.
Especially first of all, Journey's cruises usually, yeah. These are great. 'cause
Well, just
it's-
right now upstairs before I came down here, there was like a group of people. They just met each other, but they're all playing cards.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're all.
That's
They're
pretty cool.
like, hey, there's the comedian. Come on over. Hey, what's it up?
Right.
You want to play? I'm like, I don't know how to play. Playing some
God, I sat with
some
a
game
family
wizard
one-
or something. I don't know.
Played some drinking game with some family. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, they're playing a game called Wizard. I don't know how to play it. They're like, yeah, we'll show you. Come here. I'm like, oh, I gotta go.
Yeah, right. I get sorry.
Oh, I got an appointment.
Yeah, I ran up and got pizza last night. Sometimes I want to run up there and get a piece of pizza. I wanted to get in and out real quick,
Uh-huh.
but then it turned into talking to a lot of people.
Oh,
which
yeah,
is cool.
yeah.
But then I'm like, oh, I just wanted to get pizza and get out of
Yeah.
here.
Sometimes it's all right though. I'm like, oh, I'll talk with you. But sometimes you're exactly.
Yeah.
You're like, oh man, I just want to get something to eat.
Yeah, sneak in and out. You're like, no.
But the late night, there's everybody's up there.
I
It's
thought
the
I beat
hangout.
him. I thought I beat the crowd, man, but
Yeah.
I guess my timing was off. I went up there right when the party got out. I thought I got up there just
Oh.
before I got out.
Oh yeah.
'Cause they had that Halloween thing, and I guess they had a buffet and all kinds of other stuff.
Yeah, I didn't hear too much about it. It was a big party up there, right? Yeah.
The Halloween contest.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
somebody won, but then I guess they had a buffet. I didn't realize that.
Oh, I don't know.
I had the pizza and went and sat down. I go, oh look, the buffet's open at like
Yeah, yeah,
11
yeah.
or whatever time it was.
Oh,
It was before the crew party.
yeah. I don't know. I was up here just hanging out with these folks.
Were you?
Well, yeah, I did at
Hey, you did
10:30.
10:30.
Yeah, and they were cool. Yeah. It was better than I thought it was gonna be. Like, okay. Cool.
Yeah. Well,
Because they were there.
Yeah,
they were,
that's what we're talking
they're
about. If they're
like-
there, they want to see the show.
Yeah. So you
You
got to
know?
put on your show, man.
I mean, there's a million things going on this ship. So if they come to your show, they know they want to see it.
So you give them, yeah, totally.
Yeah, so they're fun. That's good. Yeah, that's good.
So
Yeah, it'll be. And you're on.
Do the
Well,
show.
tomorrow night. You and I we flip.
both of
back
us,
and
yeah.
forth.
Yeah.
You're 8 and 10:30 tomorrow.
I think it's 8:30. 8:30 and 10:30.
Okay, yeah.
I think
I
you're
do
like
the
7.
Seven. I do 7, and then whatever the middle one is, 9 or 9:30.
Yeah.
And I don't know what I'm up against tomorrow. I know Spike is up against Andrew's.
Oh, I didn't even look.
I
Or
didn't
what
look
the show
either.
is or whatever. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
That'll be fun. I'm gonna repeat the PG show, and then do the other show that they haven't seen yet.
Good, right on. There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah, they seem like a good crowd, man. They dig it.
they were hot, man.
They
That's
were really
cool.
good. The good shows have been great. Like my family and that 9:30 were money. They were great.
Yeah.
You know,
The sweet spot.
Yeah, those were good.
You
dude.
know
yeah.
what I mean? That sweet spot. You're like,
Yeah.
oh man, they're ready.
Well, it's kind of nice to have the whole night to yourself because then you know you're going to get that spot no matter what. Yeah, I always hate when I have the bad spot, then somebody gets the good spot.
Yeah.
And then I get the next bad spot. And they have the
Oh
good spot.
yeah, I
And you're like, what
know.
the
I've
hell?
done that too. I had like back-to-back 11:30 shows. I had like 11:30. It like each night of the week. It was like the late one. I'm like, oh man, I'm getting screwed, man.
Yeah.
I want to show off a little bit, but I mean, you still do, but it's at the late show, you know.
That happened to me on that 4-day Ensenada run.
Yeah.
There's something about that schedule that your first 3 nights you have the 11:30 show.
Yeah.
Or you don't. You know what I mean? I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, it kind of sucks.
And I'm like,
at
oh, that
11:30.
guy's got the good spot, man.
Yeah.
It was packed.
Yeah, I think you got one
But
good
you're like,
show
all
on
right.
that schedule. You know?
But you still do your thing, but still you still want that you know that like
Yeah, but you know,
that
11:30,
nice one.
you know, they're a little drunker and tireder.
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
10:30, they're still a little jacked up.
Yeah,
especially
they're-
this crowd.
They're
This
excited,
crowd,
sitting up. They're ready.
this crowd packs it in early.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
there's no 11:30 shows here.
That's always cool to see. Oh yeah, that's right. But yeah, man, it's cool. Try to think. You know what? The lady right now, she really gave me a huge compliment, and it's something that we do, but she noticed it. She just said, "I really liked how you flowed when you're talking about your background, and it kind of flowed into the next thing and the next bit, and I'm like, And I think in my head, like, yeah, segue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All those things
Yeah.
that we worked out for years
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
You're like, oh, okay, that fits right into that. And that's how I memorize. That's how I memorize.
Yeah.
You know, like, okay,
this goes here and this goes
part's
here.
going to go to this part, this way. And I can flip-flop it and go, okay, I can start here if I want, and I can still go here this way, and then, you know, take it to the next spot.
Right.
And so she pointed it out, so I was like, oh, that was so cool. I noticed that was so nice. I'm like, oh, thank you. I was like, oh, thank you.
Yeah, I like to have some kind of through line, man. And it's cool because I think it works better for them.
Yeah.
Because I hate just a cold intro. You know,
Well,
something. Anybody been to New Mexico? You know, I don't like, you know what I mean, something like that.
That's what I'm trying to do, like introduce, like you were mentioned before about your character, because these guys don't know who we are.
Right.
You know, they're from all over the country, and then it's like, okay, who's this guy? Oh, this is where I'm from.
Right.
And
right.
this is about me. So I try to do that.
Yeah.
That's how I kind of started trying to figure out this beast. You know, okay, these people, you know, I've never been to Georgia, North Carolina, Ohio, or, you know, all these places, but
Right.
okay.
Right. Well,
Bring them into my world.
you personalize your material, bro. People watch.
Bring them into your world.
Yeah. Comics become successful based on their character, on who they are.
yeah.
You know, people know what to expect when they see Jim Gaffigan.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
know what to expect when they see, you know, Robin Williams or anybody else or Dave Chappelle.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So character is such a big deal, and to have jokes that are personalized about it, that way it's just not a joke. You know,
Yeah.
it's stuff about your life, it's stuff that affects you or where you come from.
I walk down the ship and they're going to shout out, "Where are you from, Frank?"
See, that's another thing that's cool is they'll yell something at you all week long.
They do.
They'll call back part of your act all week long.
Look, there's a Mexican.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. That's me. I'm here.
Yeah. See, that's cool. Yeah, I got a hot tub joke. I do it tonight though. And all
You
week,
do?
Yeah, and all week long, if I do it early, I'll go, "Hey, I'll see you in the hot tub. I'll see you in the hot tub." Yeah. But it's always something to call you back, man.
Yeah. One guy says, "Hey, so I have a question." Yeah. What's up? And I thought he was asking where the bathroom was or something. He was like, "Do you know anything about carpentry and laying down the linoleum floor?" I'm like, "No, man, I don't work at Home Depot." And he goes, "Ah!" And I go, "Okay, you got me."
I see what you did there.
Okay. He's got jokes.
I think Jason Blanchard has that thing where I'm pretty sure it's like, it's a reference to it's about sex. It's about if you're with your woman, like if you go down on your woman or whatever.
Yeah.
And it goes well, whatever. When you see me the next day, look at me and go something like that.
Yeah.
So people will see him all the time and do this. Just no
yeah,
yelling, no
yeah.
screaming, but it's a little thing.
Yeah.
But it's just still something, man. You know where it gets me off guard is you know it always gets me off guard. Where like you do the cruise, right? And then on these cruises, if you get off like in a U.S. port, like in Orlando or LA, and then you go to the airport, and I'll be sitting in the airport, and somebody will walk by and go, "Hey, hot tub," and I go, "Oh, well, hey!" It takes me a second to register that they were on the cruise.
Oh
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
totally. Yeah.
It always
Oh
screws
yeah.
me up,
I've had that too. The same guy. Oh, it's a comedian guy. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What's up, man?
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Where are you going? I'm gonna go over here.
I'm going home, man.
And they always will throw you a joke or something, or.
Yeah, usually they're
No,
pretty
it's
good.
cool. It's fun. I enjoy that. So.
Dude, yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. So, I was sitting one time. I was on a, you know Jessie Campbell.
No, I don't think I know
She's a
this.
comic. She's mainly a screenwriter. She does a lot of screenwriting.
Okay.
Now. I don't know how much stand-up she's doing anymore. Probably a little bit. She was working shifts for a while, but she did a bunch of script competitions. She did very well.
Oh wow.
And I was working with her on the Norwegian Escape, I want to say, out of New Orleans. And we're sitting in the airport, right? And I'm sitting there. She's sitting next to me. And this woman walks up, looks at me, and goes, "You were so funny. Oh my God, I thought you were really great." And I didn't like that girl that much. She wasn't really that. I didn't like her. Something I just didn't like. Oh, you mean her? And to look at her face, she's like, and the woman goes, "Oh, I mean, it just wasn't my. It wasn't my." So, and they were on the same flight, and Jess was in first class. And the woman walked by. She walked by. She was looking. She just sent me a text. She just walked by me right now.
Yeah, sometimes they don't realize, like when you're standing. Yeah, they just have tunnel vision. They see the person they liked.
Yeah.
And then they go, "Oh, blah 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 blah."
Yeah, that's all right. I don't mind that because I understand everybody isn't everybody's cup of tea.
Oh yeah,
like certain people are different.
Yeah.
But you know what is extremely annoying that I've gotten this before, where people come and critique me.
Yeah.
Well, they'll go, "Here's what you should do," and I
Yeah.
don't do that. I'm good. I think I got it.
Or when people say to you, "What do you? How do you keep at it? Keep at it."
Yeah.
That's another one I love. Is keep at it. You'll make it someday. I'm making. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. It's just.
Yeah, you're not always it's going to be like their type of comedian. I was, what was it like? It was Georgia, North Carolina, South. It was certain demographic, and so I'm out there, and everybody was African American.
Right.
The whole audience, pretty much, and so I go up there and I start doing my thing, and then they start to get up and they start walking out. They weren't loud, nothing. They were polite, but they started walking out, and I'm like, well, halfway through. I see half of them, like it's half empty, but there's still half people that are still there,
Right.
And I'm like, all right. And then I go, where are you guys going? And I start talking about them because I'm like, where are you guys going? I can see you laughing, and I'm telling them, I go, are you taking your jokes to go? What's going on? You know what I mean? You got an appointment to go? You got somewhere to be? We're all here. I start talking about it. I can't be that bad, and just talk. And the people that were staying were just eating it up. They're all laughing. So after the show. I'm like, that sucked, half of them walked, and they're like, are you kidding? You were hilarious. So the other people, I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, oh, you were talking about, we were enjoying that part. We were enjoying that you were just talking about in the moment and just putting them down and just, you're hilarious. And you know what? For the next show, it wasn't packed, but all those people that were stayed were all those shows.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because then you're like, okay, I wasn't their comedian.
Right.
Obviously. And but the people that were there enjoyed it, and they were always. So the shows were like they weren't full, but the people that were there were they enjoyed me.
Good, right on.
So it's like, sometimes I can't take it personally. It's just I wasn't there.
Yeah, not everybody likes you, man.
I explain it like music. Some people like jazz, some people like classical, some people like rock, some people like country, and comedians, it depends on what your flavor is, what you like sometimes.
Well, look at how many different styles are
and
there.
Different styles.
For Jay Leno or Rita Rutter,
Some guys are like, I didn't see those guys. They're famous and everything, but sometimes I'm like, but they're not my cup of tea.
Right.
There's some comedians that are like, oh yeah, I like to watch that person. But that one I'm like, I'm kind of like, who's your favorite comedian? I'm like, I rather these guys, these type of styles.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Right. I never say like to someone I'll never say someone's not funny. Like I just don't like that person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like someone will go, that guy's not funny at all. I go, no, that's just not your thing.
They're not, because they'll be killing the crowd, and you'll be like, and you'll be the one going, that's funny, that's clever.
Yeah.
But everybody else is belly out laughing.
Right.
And then there's some comedians that I watch, I'm like,
yeah.
I don't know what he just did, but
yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's a couple that make me laugh hard. Dude, you made me laugh hard the other day.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Fucking hilarious. That was so.
It's all the faces.
Oh, dude, it was so good. It was so. I've seen you do that bit, some of that bit before, but I don't think I've ever seen that.
You saw that one?
No, it was so funny. I've seen the flamingo guy and all that stuff.
Oh yeah,
it's all very good.
Yeah.
But the crying one is so funny. Oh, it's great. He's so devastated. She left me.
She left me. It hurts.
Don't hire this guy.
I should make it bigger.
You do this so perfect, man. It's hilarious. Yeah, it's really funny.
Yeah,
and they loved it too, man. That was good.
Oh yeah. It's fun for me too, man. I'm like, okay, the guitar. I'm gonna work on it more, like you guys said. All those suggestions.
Yeah.
Like okay, I do some more tags. We get more, and I want to bring out the guitar for the kids too.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I should think of some kids songs and stuff. But I haven't
figured
it out yet.
There'd be a ton of stuff you can do. Plus, the facial expressions you do is huge for kids.
Yeah.
That's why I work with kids I'm very big on my face.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And kids love anything animated.
And exactly. I think sometimes they're just watching my face and the noises.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, do some noises or the
voices.
You'll
see a little kid will laugh at something they didn't get.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I'm doing the
yeah. Oh, they love that.
Like SpongeBob,
Yeah.
and like, oh hey, look at.
They love that.
So when I see them out in the deck, hey, there's a comedian. Cool, you were there.
Yeah, any sound effect I make, I do the phone thing, like
exactly.
Things. The kids laugh, hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'll do kids yelling at me.
Yeah, it helps paint a picture. Like I do the dentist thing.
Yeah.
Holding your cheek.
Yeah. Yeah, kids love that stuff.
Yeah, they're like, the faces. One kid, he came and he wanted to see me again, even though he saw me before, and he liked the last bit that I did, And it's the stereotyping when I say, I don't know, I want to be myself.
Right.
And then the guy goes, $2,000 a week. I'm like, oh, ¿qué pasó? You know, and when I did, the kid just exploded. I'm like, oh, you're all right? I'm like, all right. I'm glad to make you happy.
Dude, you forget how, because we've been performing for 30 years.
Yeah.
You forget how impressionable and powerful it is for a kid to see a live performer.
Yeah.
You know,
it could be their first time.
Yeah.
They don't know how to act. You know, sometimes that's what gets me kind of like upset sometimes, or disappointed maybe I should say, and comedians that like really put down the kids that are talking a lot or whatever, because the kids don't know, you know, they don't know, they're just watching for the first time, they don't know how to act, you know what I mean?
Right.
Everything good?
Yeah, everything's fine. I was checking the battery. Yeah, but it's also so impressionable. Sometimes they're nervous talking to you and stuff.
Yeah.
And you forget because you perform 10 times a week.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so you're not, you know what I mean? You're just not.
Yeah. They're like, so innocent sometimes.
They're nervous. They'll come up.
Nervous.
I've had kids come up to you after the parents will walk them up after a show.
Yeah.
And he wants to say, I go, yeah, well, how are you?
Yeah,
take a picture.
I'll kneel down and say, hey, okay.
Yeah, right. Right.
You know?
Every once in a while you get a kid tell you a joke or something. I love that, man. The kid will tell you a joke.
Tell me a joke. One time when the kids gave me, I didn't know they did this. It was a little wooden magnet, and it said, "Thank you for having a great day or holiday experience, whatever, with a family name on it."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really
cool. And after the show, he gave me, and I assume they have a lot of them. They're handing out to whatever person that makes their day, whatever. But man, that was a hit right here, man. I'm like, yeah, thanks, man, thank you. Oh, take a picture, okay, you know. And you're like, man, it made me remember them, you know. Put it right there on the refrigerator.
It's pretty cool. Like we talked about this a little bit earlier, Glenn, is like, part of the reason you do this is like you make people feel good. They love to see the show. They laugh. They have a good time. I mean, comedy for me always was an escape and a way to show people that we're just like each other. Like I got into comedy because I saw guys do jokes that I associated with. Yeah. Like Louis Anderson and Sam Kinison, those are guys I was like, oh man, I know that. I grew up with that kind of, my dad was that guy or whatever, you know? Yeah. And you associate with those people and you feel better when you see those things.
We forget, we forget sometimes. Just this last couple of days, people are thanking me, oh man, thanks for making us laugh. Thank you. You're so funny. And I remember when I was first starting out, I used to do the Alcoholics Anonymous a lot. And just to get, you know, we used to do it for tips. Right. You know, whatever. And we just go out there and we just work. I was just starting out, you know. And so after one of the shows, I did pretty good, you know. And the guy comes up to me and he goes, hey, I just want to thank you for coming out, you know. I'm like, oh, thank you, you know, my usual, thank you, you know. And he goes, no, listen. And all of a sudden he got serious. He goes, I want you to understand that it's a Saturday night. We're in an Alcoholics Anonymous. I lost my house, my kids, my job, and it's a Saturday, and I'm here, and I feel bad. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, you know. And he goes, no, don't be sorry, because for 20 minutes, I forgot all about that. Yeah. I forgot all about what was going on. And I laughed, and I want to thank you for that little piece, you know, escape. And I was just like, wow, that was worth any tip right there, man. I'm like, oh, thank you, you know what I mean? And then went back the next week, and it's a different story, man. Right. More smoke-filled room. Yeah, I'm like, wow, man, I smell like smoke. And one guy says, I never heard a Mexican talk without an accent before. I'm like, well, where am I?
What happened to feeling good?
What happened to feeling? I just want to get out of here, man, and wash my shirt. Because it was like, everybody was smoking.
Yeah, right.
Crazy.
Oh, God, I remember you could smoke inside shows. Yeah. And all your clothes would reek of cigarettes. Your hair would reok of cigarettes. Yeah. You had to take a shower after. And I was smoking back then.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, but I couldn't handle it smelling like it all night. Yeah. When I would take a shower at night, like I can't sleep with my hair all smoke. You know, your hair would get all smoky.
Yeah. Like it was a Vegas room, and you could see the smoke cloud. You know, and the stage was lifted, so you were standing right in that smoke cloud. Yeah. You know, you're like, oh man, this is like smog in LA, man.
Zany's in Chicago is like that. Have you done Zany's downtown?
No, but
the stage is elevated about 4 feet off the stage.
Right.
And it's a low ceiling. Yep. So you can touch the ceiling when you're on stage pretty much. And the ceiling is the same all the way across. People are below, so you can see a thick layer, or you could see a thick layer of smoke at the top. And it was like, and the smoke came at you the whole night. You know what I mean? So it would rise into you. Yeah, it was brutal. I mean, it would be like you were smoking while you're on stage.
Yeah.
You could feel the smoke come into your lungs. It was intense.
The other day.
Oh God. By the end, and that was one of those shows that we did 9 shows in a week there. We did 3 on Friday, 2 on Saturday. And by the end of Friday, I'd be like,
Rudy. Exactly. Exactly.
Just dying.
Yeah, like, what did I do? What did I do? My God, you're just talking.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal.
Yeah,
I'm glad those days.
Good old days.
Yeah, I'm glad those days are gone. I remember when they first started. I started when I was working the road. I lived on the road. I came out to California. In Northern California was the first place I went to where you couldn't smoke inside. Up in Redding and places like that. And
Black Hills Casino out there.
Yeah. And I did that and Eureka, and there was another. I can't remember the whole town we did up there all the time. Truckee was up in that area too. But that was the first place. I was like, this is stupid. This is never going to catch on. Yeah. This is dumb, And then it came down to L.A., and eventually it happened in L.A. You couldn't smoke anywhere in L.A. And then it happened, ripple effect everywhere. And Chicago did it in stages, and Zanies did it in stages. But then eventually Zanies was all no smoking. And I was like, I couldn't have been happier. I was like, oh my God, this is the greatest.
Yeah, right. I can't imagine it now.
Do you remember they used to have smoking in non-smoking areas right next to you?
Well, yeah.
In a restaurant, there would be like people there.
The smokers. Like, oh, hello.
Are you eating breakfast?
What's this about, man?
Firing down.
It's this line right here. Well, the smoke's supposed to stop right there.
Yeah.
Like, oh, there it goes. But yeah, now I go anywhere, I smell it like this.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they're smoking in here, or Vegas. Like,
Vegas, I can smell it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Or there's a couple of the ships, the Panorama and the Vista, one of those. If you walk across 4, you have to walk through the casino, so you can smell the smoke all the way down that hallway. Oh, yeah. It's brutal. Going to the showroom, I don't go that way anymore. I go downstairs, go around.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah, because you walk through, you can smell the second you walk out of the showroom and walk over to the sports bar, you start to smell the cigarettes.
Maybe like you said, like it was even didn't even think about it. Go to the bar all the time,
Yeah.
Smoke.
Yeah.
It was just part of it.
Oh, back when I smoked, man, I would do it. I remember smoking on planes. I smoked on planes for a while too. I remember that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That was insane. It was just the back of the plane, which was dumb. It was like the back 6 rows.
Well, what was that? What was that older? The ship they just Ecstasy, whatever they just retired. I was on that ship last year, and they had ashtrays in the bathroom.
Oh God!
And you're like, oh, back in the day, you could smoke a cigarette while you're taking a crap.
Think about that. You can't put down cigarettes for that long. It was like an ashtray.
That's a long one. That's a long ass.
Yeah,
some business.
That's rough, dude. You're addicted to cigarettes.
You're like, the ashtray's right there. It's still where the ashtray used to be.
Oh.
Like, wow, I'll trip out on that.
They still have them in some of the plane bathrooms.
Oh,
yeah. Then for a while they had them in the seats for a while. For a long time, and then but now I think there must be some older planes
old
still.
Seats.
Yeah, but there's some bathrooms you go in, some ship bathrooms you go, or plane bathrooms you go to where they have a little the thing. It's right there. You pull it down.
Yeah.
You go, oh my God, that's an ashtray.
I have become an expert on planes now with how the trays work and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Put the armrests up and get out, because some people like if you're on the aisle.
Yeah.
There's a way to put the arm up.
Yeah,
and I didn't know that for a long time. I'm like, oh man, and I saw some one of the flight attendants do it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, look at that.
I think it depends on the line, because some of them you can't pop up from the aisle.
Yeah.
But some you can't. I know you can't. But there's a
like,
special way you gotta do it
though. Or the tray, if you're in the emergency section.
Yeah.
This thing pops up, comes out, whatever.
Like
okay.
And there's a couple that go sideways and down or whatever. But I
learned to figure out how all this stuff works.
Yeah.
The little secrets. Oh, okay.
Little traveling tricks.
Okay. Put the little pillow here. Do that. Okay.
Crash out. All right, buddy. This is good, dude. Let's wrap this up. Do me a favor.
Yeah. Any questions or what?
No, I've got no questions. But any socials, man, throw them into the camera directly.
Let's see. You can find me on Facebook. That's easy enough. Just Google comedian Frank Lucero. You pop it up, and then Instagram is Lucero Frank. And there you go.
Simple. Frank Lucero. Thank you, brother.
Appreciate
it, man.
Cheers.
Thanks. After that, I go to the Norwegian Bliss. I'll be doing part of the crossing from Miami through the Panama Canal. I'll be on that ship from December 4th through December 11th. December 15th and 16th, I'll be at Chinook Winds Casino. You can come check me out. That's out there in Lincoln, Oregon. It's one of my favorite gigs to do. After that, you can catch me 2 straight 5-day cruises on the Celebrity Equinox over Christmas. That's December 19th through the 24th, and then the 24th through the 29th. Also, at the end of the month in December, you can catch me on the Carnival Horizon for New Year's Eve. It's a New Year's Eve cruise, man. Check it out.
the 31st through the 3rd of January.
This episode of Total Schmidt Show is brought to you by the supporters, subscribers, and followers of Lenny Schmidt.
As mentioned
and the
earlier,
Lenny Schmidt
we don't
Comedy
have any
Network.
sponsors
and
here
you can
at
support
Total
as well
Schmidt
for as
Show.
little
We are
as
supported by our
$1. Simply
subscribers
go
and
to
followers,
LennySchmidt.com,
Blue
go to the
Planet
menu at the
Travel.
top, and look for
Keith and
Pay if
Brenda
you
run
can.
Blue
On that
Planet
page, you
Travel.
will
They
find
have been
tons and
followers
tons
me
of
for
ways
quite some time.
that you can support
Get
this
me
channel
through COVID.
financially.
Keith and Brenda
whether it's PayPal,
specialize
credit
in
card,
cruising. That's
Venmo,
what they know.
Cash App,
They cruise.
or
They know
become a
everything
monthly
about cruise ships.
Patreon member
If
and
you're
get all
looking to
kinds
take
of
a
cool
cruise or a
perks.
Carnival cruise,
You get tickets to live
Keith and Brenda
shows,
are the
you get
people to
cups,
go
merch,
to. They know everything
albums,
about the ship,
you get shout outs on the
the
Total Schmidt
restaurants,
Show.
the shows,
You can
the
even watch the
entertainment,
show
the
live
ports,
stream a couple times a
different
month,
cruise
have
directors,
input
you can
and
see the
interact with
different
Lenny
staff
and his
people.
guest.
They are deep.
LennySchmidt.com.
Deep
Pay if you
into
can.
cruise world.
Thank
They
you
know
so very
everything
much.
about it. They know all the comics. They're very well in touch with anything that's going on the ship. They can help you book a fantastic vacation based off what you're looking for, whatever you want to go, their ports, the type of ship. They can give you all the information. You tell them what you're looking for. Keith and Brenda can cater to you and get you the perfect cruise. Also, the best thing about Blue Planet Travel, they're accessible. They help you out. A lot of times you book on the website, on the cruise line site, and that's it, man. You fly to the port, you land in an airport, and then you just got to figure it out. Keith and Brenda will help you out. You can reach out to them if you have questions. They will help you from the moment you book the cruise right up to the moment that you are stuffing a burger down your face or watching a comedy show on the cruise ship. Keith and Brenda are great people. It's an awesome company. Check them out on Facebook at Blue Planet Advisors, and their website is Blue